This is coffee number 5. I'm your host, Lara Schmoisman. Hello there. Welcome back to coffee number 5. My coffee is ready, and I hope you are too, because we're ready for a treat here at coffee number 5. I'm so happy because I really got to get a really good friend of mine today, and that when we met in person the first time, we couldn't stop talking and then walking and talking. And, with those people that you just click and connect, and you feel not only that you know her as a person, you understand the same industries and you talk in the same language. But on top of that, she knows a whole side of the business that I don't. And that fascinates me. So welcome, Ahu. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm so excited. And that was such a great intro because I think you're right. I think it's very rare that you find that instant connection in someone, and we definitely had that. And it was a great conversation. Our first conversation was a dinner. We were so brave to sit down to have dinner with someone that we had never met before. I think
Yes.
that in itself is so unlike me.
Yeah,
In
me
a lot of
neither. And
ways.
one-on-one.
Yeah, a one-on-one dinner, like it's a commitment,
Yes.
and we both took a chance and it was lovely.
Yeah, it was great. And well, but I wanted people to know a little more about you, and tell us a little bit about your background and what are you doing today?
Yeah, so I am the EVP of brand partnerships at New Beauty. New
Uh-huh.
Beauty is an almost 20-year-old magazine brand, a media brand, a beauty platform, now I call it. And it's a trusted authority in the beauty space with expert guides and information on products and treatments and services from our editors as well as board certified doctors. It's been around for a very long time. I followed it for many years as a consumer. I still have the first issue when it came out. It was like a phone book. Everybody will remember who knew about New Beauty then. So this is literally my dream job. I got to it by way of working in the industry for almost 3 decades. And English is not my first language. America is my second country. My home country is Turkey. I grew up in Turkey reading old issues of Glamour and 17 and J14 and Tiger Beat. And I always knew I wanted to work in magazines. That was never really in question. The goal was always to get to a magazine. And I've been very lucky to have had that chance since I graduated from college to have always worked in magazines. And now I'm in New Beauty.
Yeah, but I mean, you're in a side of the magazines now that is not that well known, because when you're talking about a magazine, what are you, an editor, or are you a writer? Are you in advertising? And you're not in either one of those. So what do you
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, so the business has changed so much. When I first graduated from college, everything was very siloed. And I actually really wanted to be an editor. And when I was offered a job at New York Magazine, I realized that the key card that I had as an advertising sales assistant didn't even open the editorial floors,
Oh,
gates. It really was church and state. If you got a job in sales and marketing, you couldn't really, commingle with the editors or interact with the editors. But our business has changed so much. We are all collaborators now. We're in an industry where we're publishing content, holding up journalism and serving that content up to consumers, whoever wants to consume that media in all different kinds of forms and formats. It could be a magazine in print, it could be an article, it could be a social media account that you follow, and then through a link in bio, you go to read an article, right?
yeah.
It could be an editor who, suddenly appears in your stories and is videotaping themselves in a way to tell you about a product that they just found out about and how they've used it. But you can also go to events like we did in Miami and
Yeah.
walk the booths and find different things you want to try, different products or services and treatments you want to try. And I think as a media brand, we all now have the responsibility to connect the dots for people. Editors are not behind closed doors anymore. And the brand partnership side is the side where we bring everything together. We're not just selling ads in a magazine, in a printed magazine. We're really bringing solutions to brands, whether they are a brand new company, just launched their products, and are trying to find consumers that match their criteria, match their target audience, or a legacy brand who's trying to differentiate themselves from all the other competitors or the indie brands that are popping up. We can find the right solution. It's a collaboration between editors and the event organizers, the marketers, and the data scientists on our team. We all have to work together.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because this world changed so much. Before, and you guys listen probably to so many of our podcasts that we talk about PR, and that many years ago was very straight business. It's like you pitch a magazine and you were wait, and if you're the editor or the journalist interested, they will write the piece or not. It's but now there are so many other opportunities to be featured in different magazines. And I need to say that there's a lot of paper play, but it's the name of the game these days.
Well, I think, definitely investing in marketing helps a new brand get noticed, whether you're doing a in-person event for all the editors, influencers, or freelance writers to attend,
Mm-hmm.
um, or creating materials that really explain your story, or investing in research that tell your story and provide backup for all the science that you're providing the editors to think about. These are all investments that I think brands need to continue to make. So whether you ultimately use the recognition that you get from influencers and celebrities and hairstylists and makeup artists and magazine editors as a tool to market your products or not is your choice. There are a lot of brands who, for example, do not license any credentialing seals for their website and only, have their own kind of brand identity on their website, and they don't talk about the press that they receive. There are brands who don't work with influencers. There are brands who only advertise in print magazines. So everybody's tactic is different, but
Mm-hmm.
ultimately we all still have to think about brand awareness. You
Mm-hmm.
still have to
Oh
have a
yeah,
brand identity. And I know you talk about brand
I
identity a
know, I
lot on
know.
this podcast. You still have to have a brand identity and create awareness around that brand story and brand identity. And you still have to think about all the tactics, right? If you don't have a strategic approach to all the tactics you're going to use, you're not going to be successful in converting those people who are curious into buyers and users of your brand. And in the
And when
magazine
you
world,
guys, when we're talking about omni-channel, that we talk a lot, this is another part of the omni-channel. It's not that it's a completely different strategy. When you create omni-channel strategies, you need to keep in consideration these partnerships. That can be partnerships, collaborations. There's so many different names to give
yeah,
it.
for sure. I mean, we have programs, for example, where we do not require any participation fee. If you have a product that you are trying to promote and you want to get it in the hands of consumers, you give us a certain quantity of that, and we have different packages we can put it in and offer you a sampling opportunity to beauty consumers who are more likely to try new products than any other average beauty consumer. And we require no participation fee, right? So
Yeah,
the beauty of it is you have product in hand, but you may not have marketing dollars. You bring the product, we help you bring the product to a
yeah.
very qualified beauty consumer. They win, we win, you win.
See,
So this
see
is
you guys at
like the
their
true
opportunity.
understanding of brand partnership.
Yeah, there are opportunities there for everyone. You just need to make sure that you know the industry. And this is what I see with a lot of brands right now, that they think that do marketing takes a huge budget. Today, I came from a meeting actually that we were talking about performance marketing and brand marketing and how to work together with both. That's what I do as an agency, integrated marketing. But you need to be very conscious who you are as a brand and where you're standing. Because if you're a new brand, if you start putting performance money in ads, it will completely go to trash if you don't have a goal for those campaigns.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
so you need to make sure that you're very strategic of where you put their money and what are you going to be getting your return of investment. As you said before, brand awareness is everything for a new brand and for an old brand as well.
Yeah. And I think this is one of the reasons why we enjoyed each other so much when we first met, because we both have this consultant way about us, and we really care about the industries that we're in. We're very passionate about beauty and beauty branding, and we want to see everyone be successful, right? Like everyone who thinks that they have a great product or a service and want to target a beauty consumer who's interested in finding out about new products and services. We want to help in any way we can. But you're so right. Like without objectives, without this is my, without people telling me this is my objective, this is the goal, at hand, this is what I'm trying to achieve. I'm willing to spend money on X. I am not willing to spend money on Y. And what are some ideas
Yeah.
you can put together for me? That's the kind of, consultant behavior that I naturally have.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you have too.
Yeah.
I love working in our industry with that mindset.
Yeah, exactly. But when you work with a consultant mindset like me or like you need to make sure that, first of all, you feel comfortable talking to that person. And second, that otherwise it's not the person for you. And second, that you could be transparent. If you're not going to be transparent, don't even try it, because you need to make sure that you talk to that person to be aligned and to create a strategy. If they are not transparency in the numbers, and or you are holding back information, that it happened to me working with clients, they held back information that I didn't know that we will have a new product to launch. So how can I kind of strategize for that?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You want to be able to have transparent conversations. That's a really good point, actually. I think for years, I was in advertising sales. That was my title, right? Like for many, many years, like I said, it was church and state, editorial teams at their jobs, the marketing teams at their jobs, and I went out and sold advertising space in magazines, or at one point it became digital media and in digital media. And there's, usually a barrier for most people when they hear a sales title, they think they're going to have to spend so much money to get,
Yeah.
what they need to get done. And I'm so glad at one point in my career, I had the opportunity to go to Turkey and launch Vogue, GQ, Condé Nast Traveler, and Glamour in Turkey with a publishing company there. And I got to work in a very small team environment where everybody sat together.
What an amazing experience.
Yeah, it was. It really was incredible. And it was a team that was super small, and we all sat together. We all collaborated. I brought my special projects expertise to the table. I was not selling ads for the first time. I was literally going to meetings and saying, "What do you need?" And it would be like the needs would be everything from find us influencers and let's do videos together
Mhm.
to we need a PR event, and we'd love to host some socialites and celebrities at a luncheon. Can you help us do that too? We want to sponsor an event that you're doing. What can you do for us that's special and unique? And I even, one of the projects was putting together a supplement for Sex and the City when the movie came out, and one of our partners sponsored that, and like it was just so much fun to work in that environment. I brought that back with me when I came back to the US after those launches, and came back to the magazine industry, and luckily everything had changed, right? That brand partnerships, that consulting mindset had finally settled in, and it was no longer taboo to be in sales trying to help you with your marketing goals.
Yeah, well, it was necessary. The industry changed so much, and I bet that your car will let you talk to the people from editorial at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just the editorial need um to come up with the best of the content that you can produce, right? Whether it's like the best storyline when you're interviewing a celebrity, best essence of that celebrity, best products and services that you want to feature. That's what magazines are all about, whether digital or in print. Magazines are all about giving you tools that you can use in real life and inspiration and inspire different behaviors in you, inspire
I,
change in you.
the other day, I was thinking about it. Remember when we were teenagers? I have teen kids, you have teen kids, and I mean, they're online all the time and they get their answers online all the time. But I remember getting answers from quizzes from magazines.
Yeah. Yeah, of
And now
course.
I know better. Like, who
Yeah,
knows who did those
yeah,
quizzes and if they
yeah,
were real or not? But that's how I would learn and get my answers many
yeah.
times. Or,
What's
or
interesting about online, and I'm on TikTok and Instagram all the time too. So is my daughter who just turned 21. So I don't knock it at all, but it is an algorithm, and you are stuck in what the app wants to show you, right? However, when you are in a magazine environment, whether digital or print, right? Or whether you're going after brands, Instagram handles or TikTok handles, you are reaching out and saying, I want travel content. I want workout content. I want cooking content, right? You are saying, this is the kind of content I want. And then you can kind of get lost in the passion content that you're searching for. But when you're on social media, that's whatever whatever the algorithm wants to show you. So I think there's still a lot of magic in what the editorial teams do. And what I'd love to be able to do at New Beauty is for the first time in my career, 100% beauty, 100% of the time, right? I don't deviate
Well,
from
I do
beauty.
believe that there is a beauty in copywriting and ideas and storytelling. That's the core of my business and my beliefs. And there is something about the written word still that for me is magic. And that can take you in a journey of wanting more and learning more. And with the digital world, we can create those links that takes you from one place to another.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Storytelling for brands is very important too. And I love it when I see PR materials from a brand where they really go into the story of the research, of the inspiration, of the ingredients. I love reading about ingredients and how they may have been used in the past in other, cultures and traditions and purposes, right? I think it's very important to get inspired from the story of a brand. And then obviously you're also, especially in beauty, you're also measuring your brand's efficacy, its credentials, so to
Yeah.
speak. I personally judge by scent. I want everything to be scented and beautifully fragrant. And yeah, I think the editorial teams are masters at storytelling. And I now see my job as promoting them rather than trying to sell something, right? You have a
Let,
product,
let,
I have a product, and it's
yeah.
the editorial word.
Let me ask you a question because I really like to give a really more hands-on um, examples. I love the example that you just gave us of what you were doing and that you can put the products in boxes and give it to people. But tell us about an exciting, something different, a partnership that you created that, oh my God, we did this and it's so outside the box.
Oh, wow. I wish I had prepared for this. Sounds like a job interview. No.
No
Um,
pressure.
That's it. That's a really good question. In a previous role, I was part of a team that came up with these unique ideas all the time. And we worked with a handful of really big brands in the country. And we were so focused on their business as part of this corporate team that I had the privilege of being able to ideate around business opportunities that a media company may not necessarily always be in front of. And for one of our clients who was a hair advertiser, a very well-known mass hair advertiser, we came up with a series of master classes that we worked with our editors on. Our editors prepared based on data and insights that we had, plus their gut instinct and trend predictability capability,
Really?
trend prediction capabilities. Um, we came up with master classes that we created. We scripted. We wrote with our editors, in collaboration with our editors. We recorded them, and then we presented these findings along with updates and recordings from our editors to sellers at retailers. So if you were a Walgreens or a CVS or a Kroger beauty seller, like you're an associate at a retailer, right? You had the opportunity to attend a webinar hosted by the media experts in collaboration with a brand, right? Hearing directly from this national legacy media brand's editors about what consumers want, what are they looking for in shampoo and conditioner products, what are some hair trends that are coming up, how to recognize different content, whether they need whether the hair needs moisture, whether the hair needs color care, and what are some of the innovations that are happening in the place. And you got to attend a webinar, and this was all a benefit that our advertiser or partner got in partnership with us, right? It was a partnership benefit that we packaged that had never really been done before.
That's so interesting, fascinating.
Yeah,
But
so we trained retailers basically for them.
that's awesome, and because that's something that smaller brands, they don't know how important it is, that in the moment that you partner with a retailer, you need to be ready to train the team too on your
Yeah.
product.
Yeah. And you need to be able to say things that are unique to your product and is inclusive of different kinds of consumers' needs, and does your product justice, right? You don't necessarily want to be reiterating your entire marketing PR release. You want
No.
to be saying like one, two, three. These are the top three things that you need to remember about this product. So when a consumer comes to you for for example, under eye bags, this is the kind of product you can, this is why you can recommend this product. Yeah, you need to be able to tell the retailer as much as possible about why it's important to have this product on the shelf and to be able to recommend this product to the consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. So today, for a smaller brand with not a lot of money for advertising come to you, what will be your recommendation?
The first thing I would ask is if they've done any work on determining who their target audience is. That is so important. Who
So important. And let me say something. Well, to determine your target audience, we always start from a gut feeling, or what you believe that is intention or would fit the product that you created. But then you need to go to the mattress and find out really who is your target audience. And many times it differs that the ones that you believe it is.
Yeah, and while creating the product, especially if you're a beauty brand, I'm assuming that you have done some research, right? Like, let's say you're creating a vitamin C product. You've decided that you're going to create a vitamin C product, and you came up with your brand and your packaging with the target consumer in mind, right? Like maybe it's colorful and has a unique application technique for a younger audience, or maybe it's in a dropper serum type a glass bottle for an audience that's more mature. and sophisticated. Like you probably have done this work, but you need to tell me what that is, like who that audience is. I think that is the most important first step. I need to know exactly who your target audience is. Who are you trying to convert to be buyers of your product? Because then and only then I can tell you, okay, in our experience, we find this audience on these various different tactics that we have in reaching them for our editorial, right? We may recommend social retargeting is an easy way of matching your audience or your target audience with a
Explain a little
media.
bit. Explain a little bit what
Yeah.
social
Yeah.
targeting is.
So New Beauty, for example, let's give us as an example. If New Beauty is the media company that you want to partner with because your target audience and New Beauty's target audience, where their New Beauty is strong in matches, right? You want to work with New Beauty to do some social retargeting, um, finding users that match on Instagram or Facebook or even TikTok, but with New Beauty's help. You're not necessarily going out and looking for audiences on your own. You're looking for audiences through the New Beauty handle so that you have the kind of halo effect of the New Beauty brand that is pushing out your content amidst other New Beauty content on social, right? And you're finding the New Beauty audience that is already consuming similar type content. And media companies' expertise in social stories and feed posts is also very important for a small brand, because what you're gonna, as a small brand, gonna gravitate towards is probably packaging, right? Or you're going to send some of your products to influencers and hope that you get some creative out of them, and you're going to boost that content on social, right?
Mhm.
But when you work with a media company, with very small budgets, we can do some social retargeting.
What are you talking about? Social small budgets. What? Give me a ballpark, if possible.
Well, on social, you can really work with any budget, right? And it depends on the media company. And, some media companies have minimums. You can do some really great social targeting for 10 to $15,000 over the course of a few months, and get a lot of conversion and benefit from it. But then you'll find different media companies that have minimums, and you won't be able to work with them until you have enough to invest in what they're doing out in the marketplace, right? So aligning on social with a media brand is one of the things you can do. Sampling, I think, is huge in beauty, especially for fragrance. For skincare, I think sampling is very, very important. Color cosmetics, we've come a long way with color cosmetics and being able to sample and at New Beauty, we have Test Tube, which is a subscription 4 times a year. We have the VIP luxury box, which is a huge box that's worth $1,300 worth of full-size products. And if you
Wow.
can get into one of these boxes, you're riding alongside of mega brands like SkinCeuticals and Kiehl's and Alastin, and you usually get category or product exclusivity, and you get to promote your brand amidst all of these very legacy brands in the beauty space, right? That's also another interesting way to start out.
That's really good advice. Very, very good
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah,
Because
I would say so. Sampling and social retargeting is probably the two easiest ways to make the most of your investment.
because again, we're going all about, and you guys, we talk about this all the time. You need the social proof. You need people talking about your products. Influencer, non-influencers, but sometimes you even trust more your friend who's trying it because you know that you like the same products. I personally trust more friends than someone that I see online because I know that they know me and they know me what I would like. So
Yeah, yeah.
someone tells
It's a
me,
it's a layered approach though. No, like, I know you probably trust a friend's recommendation to make that purchase. But
mhm,
until you get to that point, there are different ways to recognize or to become aware of a product, right? I have 3 friends that I exchange beauty information with all the time, and one of them is a makeup artist. The other two have consumed many subscriptions like I have in the beauty space, and we're constantly, seeing things and buying and trying it out. And what I've noticed we do is we have a text message chain, and we'll screenshot something that we might have seen online, whether it's on social or like an ad maybe on something that we're reading, and we'll screenshot it, send it to each other, and ask, like, what do you think? Have you used it?
Oh, I
And
want to be that chat chain.
and we'll comment if we have any ideas. Yes, I've used it. No, I haven't tried, but I've been meaning to. I saw it too, right? Like, oh, I saw that too. One of us will buy, one of us will try, and then we'll still be talking about it in a few months, and maybe everyone will finally buy it and try it. So, it's a layered approach. You need to see the advertising. You have to. You have to be able to see the product somewhere. It can't just be influencers and celebrities. You
Yes.
need a brand to show up as the brand itself.
Absolutely. I love this. I'm taking notes, the layer approach, because I really love this approach. And I think that everyone should be using it. It's omni-channel, but at the same time, is a little bit at a time. And
Yeah,
not
yeah,
trying to conquer all at the same time, because it's impossible. I
yeah,
see a lot of brands that they go and they spend new brands that they're not even in market yet. But they go and spend a lot of money. And we had this conversation in being in trade shows that they cost them, but they're not ready for retail to place a big order for them.
yeah,
You need to
yeah.
start small and really understand where do you fit as a brand.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Omnichannel is extremely important. Even if you're a small brand, even if you have a small budget, with that budget, I think you should try to dabble in different things and just test them. Test where you're getting the brand awareness that you need. Test where you're getting the conversion that you need. Test where you're getting the future purchase intent that you need.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you need to be able to develop all of these simultaneously. You need to be able to acquire new customers who'll try your product. You need to be able to convert those customers to regular buyers, whether they've sampled or just tried from a trial size. And you need to be able to consistently tell your brand story to new people out there in the audience.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So important. And like I always say, I always talk to my team about this every time we are talking about any client. What is the buyer intention? You need to understand what's the intention, what's the problem that we're going to be resolving for our buyer. We are not the hero here. The hero is our buyer, and we are resolving a problem for them.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And beauty is such an exciting industry because it is projected to continue to grow in the next 5 years, right? Continuously growing at a minimum of 6 to 8% every year. We have adopted the wardrobe approach to everything, right? Like, you have a wardrobe for clothes, you have a wardrobe for fragrances, you have a wardrobe for skincare, you have a wardrobe for makeup. It's okay. Nobody's judging you. You can have as many products as you'd like.
Yes, and one of the things that I notice that people that when they really love a product, uh, you're loyal to that product, and it's hard to try something new.
Do you have one? Recommend one to me.
No, I cannot do that. I can
You can't?
I have a few. I have a few, but when I really love a product or I like for example, I went to Italy and they lost my luggage. I lost all my makeup and everything. And so I went to Sephora and they have different products. I couldn't find my products. And I was like, I ended up buying products and they were great products. And then I was like, how can I get those now? But anyway, it was stressful for me to have to get out of my comfort zone because I know how I do my makeup fast every day because I know my products. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know your wardrobe, you know what you're gonna go and get and how it
yeah.
looks on you.
Yeah, especially with color cosmetics, you don't always achieve the same look that you want to achieve when the shade is slightly different or the texture. I do a lot of eye makeup, and the texture of the pencil is just so important to me. It has to be crayon-like, right?
Oh,
So
and let's not even start talking about mascaras. It needs to be
and
perfect.
mascara, yes, mascaras. So I'm looking forward to. I'm going to go visit my daughter in Italy this year, and in April. And I've been Googling like crazy. There are all these sub channels on Reddit that talk about like the products that you need to get in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Either they're not available here, or they have different ingredients.
Yes.
All I'm hearing is SPF, SPF, SPF. So even if it's a brand that's already available here, getting the SPF coverage of these brands in Europe is a very different experience. They're more mineral-like, they sit better under makeup, and I'm really looking forward to playing with all the
Oh my
SPF.
God, I want to hear more about that later.
Yes, for sure.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. And Shaz, before we wrap this up, as a small brand, I want to reiterate something really, really important. It's about consistency. Whatever you do in media, you need to have a plan for media. You cannot start and say, this month I do this, next month I'll do something else. You need to be consistent. What is your recommendation? Like you say, we do social media, or how long you think we need to have a plan for working with the media company?
That's a very good question. I think PR needs to be always on.
Yes.
I think getting a good PR plan and having an outreach calendar throughout the year is extremely important. Contact management is extremely important when you're a small brand. Put
Mm-hmm.
together an Excel sheet of everybody that you want to talk to, wish would know about your product. Creative, almost a vision board of contacts, right? These could be celebrities, it could be influencers, it could be marketing companies, it could be PR companies, it could be magazines, it could be people in the industry, it could be people you follow on LinkedIn. Having a good contact management, finding these people in the world, and getting them your information about your product, it should be part of your PR strategy. It shouldn't be just magazines and journalists out in the open.
Absolutely. And again, I'm going to repeat, you need to find and work with people that you feel comfortable with and that
Yeah.
you build a relationship. The relationship of whoever you're going to be working with, it hopefully needs to be a long one, at least 6 months in my experience, to see
Oh, for
if it
sure, for
really
sure.
changes.
Yeah, well, in media, you have to have at least a year out, right? Like you need to have pulses. You can't
Yeah.
just you can't be one and done. You need to have at least two pulses throughout the year where you're putting money in social media. Maybe it's around the launch, right? Or maybe it's about rebranding, or maybe it's about an exciting announcement, but you have to have at least two pulses throughout the year.
Yeah.
And I think pulsing custom content, whether it's custom content you're publishing in the form of a long form article, right, about your brand, about your product, about the efficacy, is a way to get the word out. And balancing the custom content, the long form content, with quick sales driving offers is going to be very important. You want to be able to do both, but you have to layer them, right? You need to get the content out first.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after the content, you need to get the offer out.
Yes. So it's
So,
what I was saying before. You need to start with your branding and then the
and then you get the
performance.
offer out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you can do this in all of them. You can do this in email marketing. You can
Mm-hmm.
do this with SMS marketing. Don't just send me an offer, right? If I signed up for SMS, don't just send me an offer. Tell me about the product first.
Yeah, and create a
Tell me the benefits.
nurture the
Yeah.
relationship with your, tell about
And
the
then
brand
say,
story,
yeah,
the ingredients, the founder,
yep.
why people need to choose, because like I just said before, people get comfortable with their products, even sometimes if they're not working great for them. So you need to make sure that you're giving them the incentive to make the change and not only an offer.
Yeah, for sure. So always on PR approach, always on communications, but twice a year you're doing this pulsed approach to content plus offer, content plus offer. I think that's ideal. We're still in the US. We still look at March and April and October, November as key moments in beauty shopping. And that's when the shelves turn over. That's when you get new product on shelves. It's an exciting time to be in beauty in March and April and end of September through early November. So I think you want to be able to catch those. If you're a beauty brand, you
Yeah,
want to be able to catch those exciting moments in time.
absolutely. Well, Ahu, thank you so much for being here and having coffee with me today.
So good to see you again, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, and to you guys, I will see you next week with more coffee number 5.
Find everything you need at laraschmoisman.com or in the episode notes right below. Don't forget to subscribe.
It was so good to have you here today. See you next time. Catch you on the flip side. Ciao, ciao.